Yeah. VS to the OP here, man. One half of the Godcast, you know what I'm saying? We here with the brother Kosan. Break A Leg Entertainment Mastermind, 10-year anniversary. Tell everybody, first of all, tell them where, you know, what it takes to get to this point, 10 years, and doing it, and just keep going strong. What can you tell our listeners to keep doing this shit?
I'm not gonna give y'all an arrogant answer, none of that. You know what I mean? I'm to be completely humble about this and everything, but you know, it takes dedication and hard work. You know what I mean? That's what it really takes. I mean, when I started actually 10 years ago, right. I thought of Break a Leg actually before I started it. Like, I had it written in a notebook, you know what I mean, the idea of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe 5 years before I actually started Break a Leg, I came up with the idea that I wanted to start a showcase. And I actually want to do something real quick before I forget. I want to shout out EO Dub, end of the week, because I was inspired by them actually to start Break a Leg. They actually inspired me. So shout out to EO Dub, shout out to Baxter Words, and He'll Answer, Miss B, all the people over there that I know. You know what I mean? That's family right there. They inspired Break a Leg. But again, when I started 10 years ago, I came into a hump in the road. And there's a lot of times when you want to quit. You know what I mean? Right. There's a lot of times when you want to give up. You probably didn't make money on the show. The show didn't go how you wanted to. It's a lot of different things. But when I first started in 2015, my first show was April 22nd, 2015. It was supposed to be at this spot called The Dopeness. Okay. We already had flyers and posters out. Okay. And maybe 3 weeks into promo already, flyers, posters out, the owner calls me from The Dopeness, Anthony Houdet, you know the guy's name and everything, he's my neighbor. Yo, we got shut down. We had an event the other day, and something happened, and they came and shut us down.
Damn, bro.
So you're gonna probably have to find a new location. What? Yeah. Right. Me, I don't overreact. You know what I mean? My first course of thinking is troubleshooting. You know, what's the solution? You know, I'm never like, what the fuck? That's never my reaction. So for me to have that type of mindset, that's why I'm in this business so long. Most people that are like, it's hard, man. It's hard. So anyway, I was like, yo, who can I call? What can I do? So I want to shout out Frank from Cafe Soleil. Was a spot that actually was just renting to like people to do like birthday parties and baby showers and stuff. Okay. So I hit him up. I'm like, yo, listen, I just had this event set up at this spot. They hit me up. They canceled it. I'm already promoting it. I need a place on such and such day. And Frank, you know, he's cool. He's like, hold on, let me check the calendar. Shout out to Frank. That's my dude. You know what I mean? A black business owner that gave me a shot. You know what I mean? And, you know, that's something else we're going to talk about. Next interview, shout out to God Podcast. There you go. You know, Great American Hip Hop Debate. Shout out to Burns. You know what I mean? Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Yeah, part 2 we got to do, man. 10 years. We're going to be doing a 10-year Break a Leg anniversary tour this whole year, so look out for that. But so I hit him up. He's like, yo, let me check the calendar. I have the date. So it's a Wednesday, mind you, too. My first show ever was on a Wednesday. So now there's a lot of factors that go in to be like, yo, this show's going to suck. Ain't nobody going to show up. Because now I got to change the promo. So now what I did was I went and covered up the address and stuff on the posters and all that stuff. Took back all the flyers. Wow. You know what I mean? And I smacked on the Cafe Soleil shit on there with a sticker, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. And then changed the logo on the flyer, all that stuff. And I started promoting. And it actually became a blessing. You know what I mean? Because his spot had an outdoor space. He had a balcony and a rooftop. There you go. We got a lot of 420 friendly guests, you know what I mean? So it was a cool spot. People came, they smoked, they vibed, they listened to some independent artists rock out. You know what I mean? And like I said, it was humps in the road all the time, and I could have quit at any given moment, but you know what I mean? Another time, this was actually too much. My birthday is in May. I started in April. So the next show, I literally did shows from that point. From April 22nd, 2015, 6 years later, I did a show once a month for 6 years straight, literally. And some months I did 2-3 shows. You know what I mean? So consistently for almost 6 years, because Cafe Soleil had to shut down, unfortunately. But I was there. You know what I mean? Doing shows.
Work. You gotta put in the work, people.
So boom. So another time, the next month. This is the next month. I had money stacked, you know, from whatever show stuff I was making on the shows. I had like cameras and all this stuff. Anyway, a week before the show, somebody breaks into my house, steals my 2 cameras, my 2 laptops, all the cash I had saved.
Damn.
I'm not gonna mention the other stuff they stole, but literally a lot of stuff that put me in a hole. You know what I mean? Now, mind you, my birthday's at the end of the month, and rent is due too. So now I don't got no rent money. I don't got money to do the show. I don't got money to re-up. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't got money to re-up. I don't got nothing to help me to get money to re-up. Everything was gone. You know what I mean? So I'm like, what do I do? Do I do the show? I don't even have money to pay for the place. People gonna show up? Am I gonna make money? Like, what am I gonna do? I did the show. And it's crazy because my landlord knew the owner of the place. And he showed up that night. You know what I mean? It was just like God, it's like signs from God. Anyway, I made enough money to pay for the expenses, right? And I made my rent money. And I had extra money left over. So that was like a sign from God. That was like a sign from God, though, to be like, yo, don't stop.
Yeah, there you go.
Keep doing this. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Most people right there at that moment would have quit.
And again, I'm humble, man. Like, you know, I'm an artist too, you know, and like I started this for other artists to do. You never seen Kosan on the lineup.
Yeah.
You never see me rapping at these shows and stuff like that. A lot of people say, yo, you probably rap better than some of the rappers on your shows, but it's not about me. You know what I mean? Break a Leg has always been about the artist community. You know what I mean? And that's what really kept me going. And again, just signs like that, like these instances that I just showed you, was like something telling me like, yo, you meant to just keep doing this. You know what I mean? That's dope. It's never been about money for me anyway. You know what I mean? I never started this to be like, yo, I'm trying to make money off of shows. I actually started it again because I used to have to go to EOW every Sunday. We used to have to jump on the train and go to New York to perform. There was no spaces for hip hop artists in Jersey. So we was like, yo, I was like, yo, I'm gonna start my own platform so we don't gotta go over the water. You know what I mean? We have our own home in Jersey. And you know what I mean?
10 years later, we here.
You know what I mean? And then in between that, it became something else, you know, because then I started working with other artists that were doing tour dates and stuff. You know, we got a lineup of artists crazy. When we do the next interview, man, we gonna go into all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I really want to shout out one person specifically. Shout out to my man Sun Lo that's here. Sun Lo used to come to my shows just as a guest, pay to get in and everything, and used to watch me from, you know, like Inspect the Deck. You know what I'm saying? Like, used to watch me in the cut, and you know what I mean. Eventually, he came and talked to me. He was like, "Yo, I want to collaborate with you," because he was hosting shows too for other people and stuff like that, and he's been doing it since Lyricist Lounge. Her Sun Lo been. Probably before that, he's been hosting shows, you know what I mean, and all that. So he was like, "Yo, I want to work with you. Let's collaborate." And then we started collaborating. So then we did my first tour date ever. Another person I want to shout out is Ren Thomas. Shout out to Ren Thomas. The Renaissance tour, right after, fresh off of Unsigned, VH1. He was on the show Unsigned. He was one of the finalists on that. He was like, yo, I want to do a Jersey show. Yeah. And we collaborated. It was the first date on his tour calendar for the Renaissance tour. And actually was crazy vibes, man. He even told me like that was one of his best shows on that tour. You know what I mean? So shout out to Ren Thomas. That's right. And that was my first tour that we took off, man. We started bringing in artists like Rome Streets and all these cats, man. You know what I mean? Source Heights, you know, so many names we can name. And I'm not even going to go into like the major artists that y'all know, like Smith and Wesson and all that. Nah. I'm talking about artists that y'all didn't know, that we put on before people even knew who they was. Again, Rome Streets, Source Heist, Crime Apple, you know what I mean? All these guys before, and not taking nothing away from the work they did and, and what they are. You know what I mean? Those guys are stars. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we seen the star in them before they even started shining like that. People even saw their shine. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? That's what it turned into, man. You know,
That's dope. Like
you know,
said, 10 years later,
we here now, and we got like 20 artists coming out today that worked with us. We even have artists that did the first show in 2015. They coming here today. Yeah, coming here today, man. So, you know what I mean? It's I'm just happy to be around so many talented people.
Absolutely.
And
as with us, and I appreciate your invite to this.
Oh man, we're gonna do much more, man. Watch out for us on the road. We're gonna be on tour with this, man. You know what I mean? We're gonna be competing with the big boys, man. That's how you gotta do it, man.
That's what it is.
Yep. And we're gonna wrap it up now. You know what I mean? Shout out to y'all for coming out.
It's
Kosan, Break A Leg Ent, 10-year anniversary.
Podcast. You know what it is, baby.
Let's go.
Sign off.
Peace.